Hello everyone, Jules here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making a video about a book review, but before I get started I want to do a channel update. I'm coming back to my channel after a 3-month break and I wanted to talk a little bit about why I have had an extended break away from my channel and also do a book review. But just to start with, I've had a 3-month break from my channel because I have just completed a very difficult year. I have had a tower year, and I'm just going to show the tower card here from the Toth deck. My tower year started about a year ago and it's just completed about a month ago. So it's been a very difficult time and I, of course, was taken up with a personal issue, an ongoing personal issue that I had to take care of, and of course I was not going to be making videos during that time. So now that period has concluded finally, and I have now got more time to make videos and make the kind of videos on my channel that I want to make and want to talk about different subjects and different topics. And this is also a channel update because going forward with my channel, as a follow-on to the tower, I want to talk about Kabbalah and Kabbalah books, which I have always got book reviews about Kabbalah books on my channel. But I want to talk about Kabbalah in a slightly different way on my channel from now on, because I want to talk about Kabbalah in a practical sense, and I want to talk about Kabbalah books that are a bit more alternative and a bit more different to the usual Kabbalah books that I have on my channel, because I think with the tower experience and having lived through a tower time, a lot of people think about the tower experience, but they don't talk much about recovery and how to rebuild. So that's why I want to relate that to Kabbalah, because I had a breakaway from esoteric study and esoteric focus, and I have resumed my esoteric study, and my esoteric focus is coming back in full force. So I have found Kabbalah really useful for that, and I wanted to talk about that more on my channel going forward. So I just wanted to talk about why I've had the breakaway and what I'm going to do on the channel. The channel is not only going to be about Kabbalah, it's going to be about other esoteric topics. I'm going to be showing some tarot and oracle decks that I really like and that I have purchased over the past year as well. Okay, now to start with the book review, I'm going to be talking about a great book by John Michael Greer called The Celtic Golden Dawn. And John Michael Greer is quite a well-respected author. He's written many books about esoteric topics. And the Celtic Golden Dawn is a theme that was really started by W.B. Yeats, the poet and Golden Dawn member. I have got a review on my channel about this book. And ironically, it has a tower on the cover. So it was W.B. Yeats who actually started the theme of the Celtic folklore, and it was a Celtic revival in England. And Celtic spirituality, and he was the first one in the Golden Dawn to set up a Golden Dawn offshoot group related to, or involving Celtic spirituality. And he referred to that as the Celtic Twilight. So I just wanted to give you a bit of background to the Celtic Golden Dawn. And John Michael Greer researched the history of Celtic spirituality. There were some small groups that were offshoots of the Golden Dawn and Masonry, Masonic groups that were also tied into the Golden Dawn. So he says in the introduction to the book that it actually originates with W.B. Yeats. Now, this book is different, but it's really good for people who want more extended version of an alternative version to the usual Golden Dawn approach. So I'm going to talk about what's in this book and why it's a really good book, and it's really useful for people who would like to include other pantheons. This book has the Welsh pantheon, which is really interesting. I've always been interested in the Welsh pantheon because of the Arthurian Tarot by Kathleen Matthews, and that method. The wonderful books of there's a book reviewed on my channel called Arthurian Magick, and that uses the Welsh pantheon. So why this book is so good is that it's got rituals and meditations, but of the Golden Dawn style approach. But what I really like about this, what makes it different, is that it also talks about this from the elemental approach. I have found out things in this book from an elemental approach to Kabbalah that I haven't seen anywhere else. And for people who want to work with the elements in particular, it's really great for that. And I should say at this point that John Michael Greer is a unique practitioner because he has a background with the Golden Dawn, many years with the Golden Dawn, and he also has his own order of Druids, the Druidry order. So he is uniquely qualified to write this book. So that's what makes John Michael Greer so exceptional. Okay, now to talk about what's in this book. Now, first of all, there's this great kind of introduction. It's all part of the first grade. He has got this book set out, the three major grades of Druidry, because it's a Celtic Golden Dawn, but it's a Druidry. It's actually a full curriculum of how to combine Druidry with the Golden Dawn approach. So the first, it's in three parts. So the first one is the ovate grade, and this is like the introduction level. It's really good. You really need, this is foundational, so it's a really important thing that you need to approach the book. It talks about the 3 triangles of Kabbalah here. And they are elemental in this system too, which is really interesting. Excuse me. The other great thing in this book as well is that John Michael Greer also applies alchemy. There's even an alchemical approach in here. Yeah, this is why it's such a different book. And he also talks about the 3 rays. There's the 3 ways of Arwen, which is in Druidry. And he's got this to do with the 3 pillars. So you can see this here. And instead of 4 worlds of Kabbalah, he's got 3 worlds, which he's got marked here on the side. Like that. And then he's got the Welsh pantheon assigned to the 10 spheres. One of the things I really like with this book is, this is really unique as well. This has got these great sigils in this book. They are terrific. See these sigils. I love these sigils. They're just fascinating. Really fascinating sigils. So original. These are from Agrippa, Cornelius Agrippa. These sigils just really, really get me in. I love them. I just love them. These particular sigils to use with this method. And he talks about all the correspondences to do with that, how they all tie in, and they can be used for ritual magic work, particularly ritual. Yeah, it's just so original. And I wanted to show you what he does with the alchemical correspondences as well. So I'm pretty sure it's nearby. I'm just trying to find, here it is. Good. Okay, see how he puts these fascinating alchemical symbols for each of the spheres as well. And he puts an emphasis on the circle and the cross symbols. So this book is just so unique. It really is. I didn't expect to like this book as much as I do, but it's just so original. And here again, he's got this here again with, there's all of this information on these elemental correspondences and how they're applied. And so the 3 main parts of the book, as I was saying, that starts with the ovate grade, which you need for the foundation. There's some really interesting meditations in this book as well. And he calls them knowledge lectures. So there's information that he sets out in lectures, but it's really the information. Then you have the bardic grade, and that's particularly to do with the elements. You have sacred geometry, also plants, because there's plant and vegetable alchemy. And then you have the Druid grade, which is particularly the grade of Magick and Magick and ritual. There's information on the equinox ceremonies and equinox and solstice. And like I was saying, I just really like this book. I have got so many markers in this book that from when I've been studying. And I'm really glad that I got this book because it's interesting, it's different, it's an original approach. You usually with Kabbalah and Magick, you usually don't get such an emphasis on the elements and alchemy and those great sigils, those very original sigils from Agrippa that I showed you. So you've got the three main parts in here. You've got a list of sources, bibliography and index at the back. The introduction is definitely worth reading in the front of the book. He also includes the lesser ritual of the pentagram as well. Yeah, so The Celtic Golden Dawn by John Michael Greer. The subtitle is An Original and Complete Curriculum of Druidical Study. This is worth getting for people who want a original and different approach. Also people who want to learn more about the Druid system, which I did. I did want to know about that because I haven't had all that much to do with Druidry. And when I first saw this book, I thought, oh, this is really different. But because it's John Michael Greer, I knew it would be worth looking into. As I was saying, for people who are interested in a different alternative approach to the Golden Dawn, this is really worthwhile. I think it's better for people probably who have some grounding in the Celtic Dawn and knowledge of the Celtic Dawn to start with. I don't think it would be such... I'm not saying you couldn't approach it as your first type of Golden Dawn book, but I really do think you need the foundational awareness first before you get this book. I think it's more for intermediate practitioners, intermediate knowledge of the Golden Dawn and of the practices. So, yeah, I really like this book and I think it's worth getting for the reasons that I mentioned. So I'll put some details below the video as I always do, and I'm glad to be back making videos. I have had a 3-month break from the channel, which is probably the longest break that I've had, but I've had been going through a very challenging tower period that has now completed. So I am glad to be back. So I also hope that people will be looking forward to finding out about some alternative Kabbalah books and also how these can help with different perspectives and in a more practical sense to use Kabbalah in a more empowering way. So I think that's important with Kabbalah. So that's what my channel is going to be more about going forward. So thanks for listening and thanks for watching. Bye for now.